Hello, everybody. Can you see us and hear us now? I want to thank you, first of all, for your patience as we were dealing with a couple of technical issues. Thank you so much for sticking around. We're gonna have a great class for you today. We are here with Cecilia Xiao, who's going to be teaching you how to paint some beautiful loose florals in watercolors. So first of all, let me just say hello to everybody. We have people from all over the place. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to look through and see if there are any questions so far. I think there was a question about the supply list, but I do believe Cecilia is going to be going over that. So, as usual, if you have any questions, please do put them in the chat in all capital letters so I can see them better. And if the question is relevant to what Cecilia is doing at the moment, I will ask at that time. If not, I'm going to hold them off until the end when we do our question and answer session. And also, we have a private Facebook group where you can share your work, and it's only for people who've done our workshops and our demos. And there, if you share your work, Cecilia can see it and maybe give you some feedback as well. So without further ado, Cecilia, take it away.
Hello, everyone. It's very nice to see you all here. And this is the painting we are going to paint today in today's live demo. They are poppies. Hopefully you can see that. And these are the pigments we're going to use today. And also the brushes. They are calligraphy brushes. Okay. So now we get started.
Actually, Cecilia, could you show us some of your work? Some of the other pictures?
Oh, yeah.
And also the picture that you'll be doing for your mini workshop.
Yeah. These are another poppy I have done. The same style. And this geranium. There are geraniums in my garden. I love gardening, so I have got lots of flower. You know, if you are following me on my Instagram account, you know that I'm addicted to flowers. That's me. And also this one, I've added some background and some sunlight into the paper. This one will be done in the mini workshop.
Beautiful.
Yep. And I do some other larger scale paintings. This is one of my artwork, which was chosen by the Australian Watercolour Masters, and I was one of the 30 who represents Australia to go to Italy for exhibition.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these are daisies in the morning meadow.
We've got comments in the chat saying beautiful, gorgeous, wow, dreamy florals.
Thank
That
you.
is really dreamy.
All right, shall we get started?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hope you can get your paper towel ready if you are painting along with me. So normally I don't like doing any pencil sketch, but this time I did because it's a live show. I want to make sure everything goes all right, and because if I don't do pencil sketch, I will get surprises in my painting. This is what I really like. But today I don't really want to get any surprise. So I did a little bit pencil sketch here, very light, because I don't like the pencil sketch show up on the finished artwork. And then when you do the pencil sketch, if you are like me, you don't want those pencil marks, use the kneadable rubber just to roll it on your paper. So it can leave very, very light sketch like this. All right, so we just get started. Normally I do not wet the whole paper. I just use water to do the sketching. So I wet the part I really want to paint on, not everywhere, but not too much water. If you put in too much water onto the paper like this, I will just do it on the other side. It will form a pool on your paper. This is too much water. This means it's too much water. If it is too much, you just use your paper towel to pat it away. Now, when we say the right amount of water is to wet the paper, but it's not forming a pool on it. And when you do wet the paper, you don't want to cover all the area, just leave some white place. We need the white areas. Okay, just like this. Slightly do it, not cover everywhere. And use a smaller brush to get some magenta. This is the main color we're going to use. You can see the color is spreading on the paper beautifully, but not covering all the area. And just leave it like this. We'll do another petal. And then I always keep the bigger brush clean, just with water. I keep it clean all the time. Okay, well, the color is still wet, but it's not running. This is the right timing to put in new colors. I will use another smaller brush to get some yellow. You can see those two colors are mixing together beautifully. And the same thing to remember, bear in your mind, do not cover all the white areas because we are doing very loose flowers. We don't want it to be too tight. And then some lemon yellow, greenish. And we go back to magenta. Drip in more pigments. This time you want to get very strong color. I will show you what I'm doing. just get the pigments directly from the pen.
I love how bright the colors are in your palette. It's really pretty and happy looking.
Yeah. Because mostly I paint flowers. You can see that green's all gone, this all gone. You see that? My favorite color is green. I use lots of green in my painting.
Do you have a favorite color green?
Yeah. All kind of green. I love them. So just drop in more strong pigments into it. Now here you can see it's a kind of dry, but don't worry. Just use your water brush. I call it water brush to drop in some water. Let it flow. Or you can connect them. You see like this. Let them flow, and the best thing for this second layer is that you will get beautiful watermarks. Those edges formed by the water itself. It's not by you, so it looks very natural, spontaneous, like this. These are all not painted by me, it's painted by water. Drop in some colors, water here. And we will do some part of here. When you leave the whites here, it will looks like the sun is shining on this flower. You know, I love gardening, and my favorite thing is to go to the garden and look at the sun. They are swinging in the wind. They are shining in the sun. The flowers, they are so lovely.
Is that something that you think about while you're painting, like how they
Yeah, that's
move
true.
and
Yes.
how they
So
look
I
against the sun?
really want some drama. I want the flowers are dancing, not like just we wrap it around and sitting in the vase and not moving. So I use quite a lot of broken washes. I call these broken washes. So the flowers looks alive, not stiff and dull. They are alive, really. I'm doing the second layer. This is to give your flower different layers. But remember to reserve those white areas. The second layer is to give you layers and contrast. So now you can see the second layer is not quite dry. And I want to drop in some water from here. You can tilt your paper like this. So the water will run to the top.
I love watercolor magic.
Yeah, you can see that? It's not very clear. Yeah, that's all right. But this is what I'm doing. So water edges will form when it's dry. Now I'll continue to do the next one, next petal. This time I want this petal to slowly disappear like this. So I put in some water. So the water, the color will flow. When you do the paint and then use water to let it flow. And at the same time, I want to emphasize here is the edge. So I wet the area. It's kind of a little bit of background, but we are not going to talk about background today. But just a little bit to background to show up the petals as a different color. And this is what I say broken wash. So now you can see that don't panic if this happens. The color runs to where you do not really want it to run. What do? I just use water to wash it away. You see?
Oh, nice.
And there's the water running. I think watercolor lovers would love those effects on your paper. It creates atmosphere and a dreamy atmosphere. So don't touch it. When it's dry, we can add some more color to give it a definition of this petal. Now at this stage, we'll go to the other one, the half opening one. Use the same technique. Get some water first. Actually, I will to avoid the colors mixing together. You can use your paper towel to dab it away. Sometimes you do want to show people some of your strokes. To give you some drama in your paper. All right. And I want a little bit yellow on the top of this half open one to show you. You can mix your color directly on your paper. Not really. You don't have to do it on this palette.
So are you using the yellow to pick up a little bit of the pink to mix?
Yeah, I just dip in some light yellow to indicate the sun is shining. And also to give some kind of variety in the colors. And then drop in water to create those water edges. All right, I'll just nib it at the moment. Let it dry naturally. And now we can come back to here. Not completely dry, you can see that. But I want to show some strokes here. Okay. Now we will go to the stem. Mix some green. If you know flowers, if you know poppies, you will know that there are some fluffs on the stem. How to get those fluffs naturally, not to draw it one by one. That's impossible. So we just wet the paper and you get the right color. The color will start from light to dark. It is a rule in watercolor painting. And I will dip in some maroon to mute it. I don't want the stem to be too bright, so to mute the color, get some maroon. Now the paper is wet. You just bravely put down this one. You will see the fluffs growing naturally. But to this dry area, there is no fluff. That's the difference. And then I just use some water. Okay. And for this one, will be the same. So the fluffs growing how long depends on how much water you put in. If this one is growing fat, I don't want it to be too fat. So I just use my water brush. Get it away. Okay, and we are going on this one. Now this one, I want it to go this way. Okay. So talking about the stems, how do you want how to arrange them? It's a problem of a composition. We are not talking about composition today, but there is one thing I want you to know that if you got like 3 lines, you do not really want the 3 lines all go like this. You don't want it to go 1, 2, 3. They are crossing at the same point, 1 point. That's not pretty at all. So I will try to arrange my 3rd one. They can crossing at a certain point, but definitely not the same one, the same point. Also, you do not want to let them end up at the same level. So to avoid that, I'm using the same color, not really the same color. I'll get some lemon yellow into it to start from night. And also reserve some white areas to show the sun shining. And then darker. Okay, green, mix some green into it to make it darker. Dipping some water on this side. I presume the sun is shining this way. And to connect the stem to the flower buds. Can you see the fluff?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Now, when it's almost dry here, we can do this to add some contrast.
Are you adding that to just like one side of the stem?
Yeah, just one side. Although I'm not realistic, I do not draw like a very knife-like paintings. I add in my thoughts, I add in my stroke and imagination and atmosphere, but sometimes you need to consider it should be like three-dimensional. So like this flower vase, it now looks like it's three-dimensional. When I keep on adding more dark painting here, you can feel that it's round and it's like a all right. Okay. And also we can see that this part we need adding some more contrast here, because I have already leave those white areas. Don't touch them. Add in some dark color. I'll add in some green, my favorite color, just to make it darker. I would like some orange, yellow hue, orange, to brighten it up.
I'm impressed how quickly all this came together.
Yeah. Okay. Now I go back to this one. I would like to add a little bit more to this part. This time I will add in some darker maroon into the magenta. Just dab in very casually. And water. And then I will need some more layers around here. Also probably here. Just let it dry. This could be the third layer to increase the contrast and also the layers. Yeah, normally we will do at least 3 layers. That's the color flow. Wherever you want it to be darker, you can drop in more darker colors. That's how we get the layers of the flowers. Okay. And for the stems, I do want to add a little bit definition on this one. You know, when it looks, I want to put this one forward to me. So you can see I want to put more definition on this one. So it comes forward. We want our paintings in certain kind of depth. So you need to put them not on the same level. You want to put them on different levels. So more definition means it come closer. And this one come closer to me. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. So Kitty, do we still got time?
Yeah, I think we've got like another 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if we still got time, we can add in a little bit more details here. About a color suggestion, I would say just use whatever you really like. When we paint flowers, we don't have to do the same as in the real life. You can paint green tree or yellow tree or red tree, whatever you like. And if you can paint the moon like a red, blue, or yellow, so it doesn't matter to me. We are not realistic, right? What I'm doing now is to create some drama on the paper because I wash it certain area and then the water goes into your paint. After it's dry, the beautiful watermarks will be there. I'm washing it. But when the paint is completely dry, you can't do this. So when it's almost dry, that's the best time. You see, this stroke is completely dry, so it won't be washed. But I would like to drop in a little bit more pigments here. Yep. I think that's it. And the next step, that's my favorite step. I mix some more water into the pigments to get plenty of pigments on this small brush. You can see it's full. And then I'll use this one. I'll just do this. Splash. And then I use my towel to spray it.
Oh, so that's how you're softening those dots.
Yeah.
Pretty.
I really like this. Yeah, that's it.
It's beautiful.
And if you think that's a little bit too much, you can still. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can let it run to flow away. This is how we create a dreamy atmosphere on the paper. It's flowing. Yeah. Now you can see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's flowing.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
We have a comment in the chat saying this is truly gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then dreamy, and then your other works are amazing. Somebody just searched them. And we also have some comments saying that they would love to see your interpretation of lilies and irises.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any of those in your garden?
Yes, I do. Before the live show, I just come back from my garden. I watered my garden before I started.
Well, Cecilia, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing in the mini workshop? What are you going to be teaching us?
In the mini workshop, I will paint some geraniums like this. This one. This one has done only the flowers and the foliage, but you can see that you can see sunlight on this one, and also the depth of this one. And for the mini workshop, I want to add in some more. That's the whole composition, and also the shade. We are painting sunlight and the shadow like this. How to paint a pot, and also the how to add on the background. It's a sunny day, and we have the blue sky, and also the sun is going this way, this direction, and we get shadows. And also I can show you how to do the foliage. On this one, we only do the petals, but this one we will focus on the foliage and the shadows and the background. Yeah, that's what we are going to do.
That is really beautiful. I'm excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of new techniques there too.
Yes.
We've got that depth in there, and how to suggest all those tiny flowers.
Yep.
Beautiful. All right. Well, everybody, the class is 90 minutes and it's step by step, so you can follow in real time. And the date is Saturday, January 8th. It's at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And if you can't attend the live class, a recording will be available shortly after. And also, if you subscribe to our new platform, you can access unlimited recorded content and attend upcoming mini workshops live. However, after, you can always still buy the mini workshop recordings individually a few days after the live event. So I'm going to put that link into the chat once more for the mini workshop. And in the meantime, let us know if you have any questions for Cecilia. I have some questions that have come up in the chat. One of the questions had to do with the paper type. So the question is basically, how important is paper type when doing these florals in regard to the sizing and the absorbency?
The paper type, I use 300 only, 300 gram cotton paper only. I don't want to use the lighter one because we use a lot of water. So if it is too thin, if it is too light, it will crinkle terribly. And you cannot control which direction your water and the paint will flow to. So it will be harder, especially for beginners. And my suggestion for paper suggestion is that any brand, but you will need a 300 gram paper. And also, I prefer to use those textured, that's cold pressed, not hot pressed, because we can easily leave those white areas reserved. It's textured, it's not too smooth. So on the smooth paper, you can get those water edges more easily, but it's harder for beginners to leave the white areas.
Great.
And yeah, and also I've got another suggestion, to buy the best quality paper you can. Yeah, within your budget, I mean. The most important thing in watercolor painting is not the pigments, not the paints, not the brush. The most important thing is the paper.
Great. And we do know that that's the Baohong cold press paper. And somebody asked in the chat if you knew which kind of Baohong that one is. I guess there are two different kinds.
Oh, yes. Yeah. This one is cold pressed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me look at the actual question. I guess there are two separate varietals.
This is the artist one.
Okay, thank you. That was the question that they wanted to answer.
Yeah. The more expensive one.
Right. And here's an excellent question. When you're doing your compositions, do you go for an odd number of flowers?
Sorry, what's the odd number?
Meaning like going for 3 or 5, 7, 9 instead of like 2 or 4. Sometimes they say that having an odd number of objects makes for a more balanced composition. And so somebody was asking if you do that deliberately.
I'm getting some echoes on my side. I'm not sure.
Oh, can you hear me okay now? Cecilia?
Oh yeah, it's better now.
You can hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
So the question was asking if you deliberately only use an odd number of flowers in your painting to create a better balance, or is it just something that you do instinctively?
Oh, just randomly.
Okay.
Yeah. I do a lot of paintings. I can show you some more if you want.
And also, somebody's asking if it's possible to get this kind of effect using just regular round watercolor brushes.
I just shopping around and go some artist supply websites.
Okay.
Those yeah.
Is it easy enough to do this kind of effect using just like a plain, ordinary, round brush?
It's hard to say. It's just I think it's a personal habit. It's a personal preference. I'm used to it, so that's why I choose it.
Mm,
Yeah.
excellent.
But definitely go for the hair one, not those synthetic,
Mm.
because the hair one can absorb more water. It's more fit for my style.
And the brush that you've been using, the interesting thing about that is that's referred to as a wolf and goat hair brush. The inside you'll notice is brown. You can see it at the tip.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's springier, so it holds its shape really well and gives you a fine tip. The outside is wrapped in a very soft white hair, which holds tons of water and gives you that really soft, loose look.
Yep.
So that if you're looking for a Chinese or Japanese brush, that's what you're going to want to look for to do double duty.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm not seeing any more questions here. So I guess we can go ahead and wrap up. So thank you again, Cecilia, for all these wonderful tips and all your hints and showing us your insight or drawing these beautiful, beautiful flowers. And if you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications, you can stay up to date and be alerted for when we go live. And we also have our Make More Art podcast, product demonstrations, and much more. So let's go ahead and bring you back on screen here so you can say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
And any final words before we go?
Oh, I hope you have enjoyed this live show. This is my first one, but I hope I have done it very well, hopefully. Yeah, and I would like to see you more in the mini workshop. We will
Yes.
do the next one.
And everybody, if you did follow along, I'm going to put the tags for Cecilia and for Etchr Studio into the chat. We would love to see your work. And again, we have that private Facebook group. So if you don't want to share your work with the whole wide world, and you can just go ahead and share for the sake of sharing or ask for some feedback, Cecilia can see it there as well.
Yeah, I would be very happy to see your work in the Facebook group.
Excellent. And we also have a feedback form that I'm going to put the link into the chat right now. There you go. And we would love to hear what your experience was like today and anything that you would like to let us know so that we can continue to bring you content that you will enjoy. So everybody, thank you so, so much for joining us today. And until we see you next time, make more art. Bye, everybody.
Bye.